Hi, uh, Tim here from World of Sleuths, and I know it's been a while since I've last made a video, but the reason why is it was during the middle of March anyway. So the the reason why is my migraines are getting bad on me, getting real, and so I was under the weather quite a bit there, but I did get some reading done. I did get 10 books read for March Mystery Madness, and all of them were ones that were originally published in 1922. But I'm not. But I'm only going to show you the last one I read because I did have over half it read by the time March ended, but I finished the book on April 1st. And that book is The Mystery Girl by Carolyn Wells. And it's I found out that it's in the middle of a bigger, longer series. I thought she mainly wrote girls' books, but she wrote quite a few adult books too, especially mysteries. And this is like the 13th in the series. Now I forgot the series name, but it's about takes place at a college in a town in the northeastern part of America, and they're going through a bit of a brittle cold spell there. So, but anyway, the president of the college is getting ready to retire, so they had an election, and the guy that won the election, or the president-elect of the university or college, was somehow mysteriously killed one evening after a party in his house. He had a nice house. His office is also in there. But anyway, they can't figure out how a murderer got in there. So there were some thinking it was a suicide, others thinking it was murder. But but they need to figure out how the murderer could have gotten in there. But at the same time, there was a girl that arrives in town on a train. She keeps to herself pretty much, and she won't even talk much with the other tenants of a boarding house where she's staying out while she's there. So she and everybody just called her the Mystery Girl. Because she said her name was like Alice Austin, but everybody just called her the Mystery Girl because of how she was. Yeah, because she wouldn't talk much with any of them. So they were wondering, some were thinking maybe she was behind it, or another guy in the boarding house was president-elect's private secretary. So he was under suspicion also. But it's a good book. It's my first book I read by her, and you do not need to have read any of the other books before reading this one, because the inspector that the series is named after doesn't come in till like close to the end of the book. So, and I gave that one like a 4 stars, I think, or I think I did it as 4.5 on Storygraph. I've started using that because you can do like a quarter of a point or half points for book ratings on it, and it's easier to add books to find books or add books if it's not in their database. So okay, then I've also shown that the other book I read is at the Canterbury Ghost, and it's in a book that I was reading from prior to that. I started like back in February. It's one of these big compilations or bind-ups, as people will say. I just call them compilations because a lot of times you'll even see compiled by but that's at the Canterbury Ghost by Oscar Wilde. See, you might remember back in September I started reading Adam Bede, and then which was the first book in it, and then the second one. Now, which one was that? Shoot. Now that's slipping my mind. I know I finished it at the. Oh, it was. Shoot. Now it's. Well, I'll think of it later, probably. But so I'm onto like the. And this is a third book in it. This is a short book. I've never read anything by Oscar Wilde before, but this book is a book of classics. So, like I said in January, I was going to be doing this. I'll be reading from these different compilations or bind-ups for a lot of the books I read. But I'll read a lot of books that aren't in them also. But so the Canterbury Ghost was the third one in there. It was a short book. I've never read anything of them before, but it's a humorous one about an American, wealthy American buying an estate or a house, like a bigger house in England that is supposed to be haunted, and so the English squire or whatever that had sold the house to him said, we haven't slept in there for a good while because after his grand aunt died or something like that. But just the way that the Americans are with the ghost in there, it just gets to be hilarious. And I gave that 4.5 stars. Okay, and then so next I'll show you the next I'll show you the books, the physical books I'm reading. So the first one is I started it back in February and I put it on hold in March, and I'm going slow at it. I'm only in the second chapter. That's The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett, and it's pretty much historical fiction back in like I'm not really sure which century it is in England, and this is a mammoth. Let's see, there's okay, no, it's over 900 pages. Okay, this one shows there's 983 pages in this copy I have. And so I'm taking my time at it. Oh, and especially since my wife and I went to the library just a week ago. Well, it will be a week ago this Monday. Or was it Saturday? Might have been Saturday. Well, anyway, I decided to check out a book from there. It's the third one of a series that I've been reading, but I've slowly reading by David Morrell. He's the guy that wrote the Rambo books and stuff like that, like the First Blood and all that. Well, the book is called Ruler of the Night. The name of the series is the Thomas de Quincey series, where and this is a Victorian thriller because it takes place in Victorian England, and there's a couple of detectives and then a guy named Thomas de Quincey, who's a big opium addiction back then, and his daughter, and they've solved a couple of mass murders before this, and now they're trying to. They had the first murder on a train in England, and so they're trying to figure out to get that and all that. So I'm not quite halfway through it, but I should be finishing it this week. The reason why I showed you that first is because the next book after the Canterbury Ghost in that book of classics was a book that Thomas de Quincey wrote. Yes, he actually wrote a book about his. It's called Confession of an English Opium Eater, and this is like his memoir. And David Morrell even does quote some of his writings in it. And so I'm reading it. It's a shorter book. Hopefully I should be able to finish it this weekend, hopefully. I'm not sure but I will, but hopefully I will. So it's interesting seeing that go along with it. Okay, then the next the next book ebook I'm reading is Scarhaven Keep. That's about an actor that, if I remember right, this is by J.S. Fletcher. I can check real quick. Just a minute. Sorry about that. I just had to reach over to where I have my ebook sitting. Okay. Sorry about that. And a lot of these, for the ebooks, I just downloaded pictures off the internet that looked good for them. Oh, yep, it's by J.S. Fletcher. I think this is the first book I've read by him, and I'm enjoying it, especially when they discovered something with the mystery, or the start of it, with a guy that's like a big actor in England and stuff, and he was the type that preferred to be to the theater early for practice and everything else, and they just were starting at a different theater in a theater in a different town than they had been in, and he does not show up. And so far in this book, they're searching for him. This is the first book I've read by this author, and I am enjoying it. So I'm glad about that. And see, that would have been one that I would have read for March Mystery Madness if my migraines didn't get in the way. And then the other ebook I'm reading is Thieves Affair by Hobart Footner. And that one is be considered to be a mystery, where it's there is some working on solving the mystery, but it's a younger guy. For some reason, he's an artist, but his first name is Evan, and he had to take a break from his paintings to just get some air and stuff, and he was observing a street vendor, like a produce vendor, and an older guy getting into an argument over the price of something, and he just follows the older guy home, just talking with him and stuff, because he found that guy to be interesting, and he thought he looked familiar. And it turns out that guy's like a millionaire or something like that. This place takes place in New York City, and he gets hired by the millionaire and the millionaire's son. See, this millionaire is an eccentric millionaire. He tends to wander off and make scenes out in public, so this guy's hired to keep him out of doing stuff like that. And there's been some mysteries in it already, with some blackmailing and stuff like that being done, so he's trying to figure out who's doing that. And so I figure I'll be able to finish those two before the end of the week. There's only one more book, one book that I'll be starting after I get done with one of those, and that book is The $1 Million Suitcase by I think it's Alice, and I think it's can't remember the husband, Perry Newberry. It is another one I would have been reading for March Mystery Madness if I didn't run out of time there. So I don't know anything about it. I've never read anything by these authors, but it's fun, especially with the stuff that you can get for free in the plug there on Project Gutenberg and other sites where you can download the public domain books from, and just where you don't have, it doesn't cost you anything to get them, so it's easy to figure out if you like them. So, well, that's all I have for you for this video. Like I said, and I'll probably start doing my videos on Fridays too, like Friday Reads, and there's possibly I might do some special ones during the week somewhere else in there. So, until next time, take it easy and keep on reading.